Hi, this is Module 1, Week 3. By the end of this lecture, you will have defined pedagogy and explored what is considered to be effective pedagogy in mathematics. Over the last 2 weeks, we've been exploring the mathematical knowledge for teaching required for effective learning. An important aspect of this is classroom pedagogy. Before we begin discussing effective pedagogy in mathematics, let's define the word pedagogy. According to the Oxford Dictionary, pedagogy is the method and practice of teaching, especially as an academic subject or theoretical. Dictionary.com defined pedagogy as the function or work of a teacher, teaching, and the art or science of teaching, education, instructional methods. Schulman defines pedagogy as the ways of representing and formulating the subject that make it comprehensible to others. I actually prefer Schulman's definition because it incorporates the purpose of teaching, that is, to cause learning to happen. If you search the term effective pedagogy in mathematics, it's likely you'll find a range of suggestions and ideas, many of which are founded in educational research and some of which are not. So which way do you turn? Glenda Anthony and Margaret Walshaw, two maths education researchers from New Zealand, have put together a synthesis of research on effective pedagogy in mathematics in 2009. This publication is in your reading list for the week. What I will do in this lecture is synthesize their findings along with the findings of others before I ask you to view a video clip from Teachers TV, which you will analyse in relation to the information in this lecture. One of the fundamental aspects of effective pedagogy is knowing and understanding the learners in your classroom. In my framework for engagement with mathematics, I refer to this as pedagogical relationships. One way we can understand our learners is through effective assessment, which we are exploring in our other unit this semester. Other ways we can understand our learners is to have regular learning-focused dialogue with students. Often we forget to ask students what they think and what they need as learners, yet they are our most important stakeholders. Another important foundation for effective mathematics pedagogy is the development of a positive classroom culture, where students aren't afraid to take risks and, more importantly, aren't afraid to make mistakes. We've all heard stories of people who had embarrassing or humiliating experiences in maths lessons, and often it is these experiences that influence attitudes towards mathematics and hinder learning. Anthony and Walshaw refer to an ethics of care and claim that caring classroom communities that are focused on mathematical goals help develop students' mathematical identities and proficiencies. Think about a positive classroom culture as the base layer in a hierarchy of learning needs. Similar to the idea of Maslow's hierarchy, where shelter is the most basic need, children need to feel safe and they need to know their teacher cares about their learning in mathematics. Maths classes require a balance of independent and collaborative learning. Think about working mathematically and the proficiencies. Problem solving, reasoning, understanding, fluency and communicating. Often it's easier to provide opportunities for these processes when we allow students to work together. However, students can still engage in the processes of mathematics on an individual basis through recording their thinking either on paper or perhaps using technology. The benefit of working together is that students can get responses from peers that may promote deeper or different thinking. Now, there are many ways to group students if we do want to promote collaboration. We could have whole class discussions, partner work, or small groups of no more than 4 or 5 members. The younger the students, the smaller the group should be. One of the most important things we can do as teachers of mathematics is to promote a thinking classroom, where students are encouraged to connect their current learning to previous learning and build on their existing skills and interests. We need to teach mathematics as an open subject rather than just a subject that focuses on procedures and calculations. We can provide them with opportunities to think when we allow them to explore, investigate, and make connections, providing them with more space to learn than closed tasks. Open tasks have low floors and high ceilings. Have a look at the 3 block towers task. How many different towers can you make using 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 yellow block? How many can you make if you have a green block as well? Now press pause on this video and attempt this task now. Make sure you record all of your thinking. We'll be talking about this task, its potential to develop mathematical thinking, and where it fits within the curriculum and effective pedagogy at this week's drop-in session. And please be prepared to share some of your work samples using the screen share option on Zoom. As well as open-ended tasks, it's important to remember that we need to provide students with opportunities to practice what they're learning. Anthony and Walshaw say this about practice. Students need to practice what they're learning, whether it be to improve their computational fluency, problem-solving skills, or conceptual understanding. Skill development can often be incorporated into doing mathematics. For example, learning about perimeter and area offers opportunities for students to practice multiplication and fractions. Games can also be a means of developing fluency and automaticity. Instead of time fillers, effective teachers use these games to meet specific mathematical purposes and because they provide appropriate feedback and challenge for all participants. We need to teach mathematics as a subject of patterns and connections. Joe Bowler suggests that even when learning arithmetic, the work of any student is about seeking patterns. We should give all students an active role in looking for patterns in all areas of mathematics, and we can do this by encouraging students to propose different methods to solve problems and then ask them to draw connections between their methods, and asking students to draw connections between concepts in mathematics when working on problems. By using a variety of tools and representations in our teaching, as suggested by Anthony and Walshaw, not only are we assisting students to understand mathematical concepts, we also demonstrate that we can use a range of models to represent one single idea. Effective teachers use mathematical language and other ways of communicating that children can understand. Concepts and technical terms must be modelled in such a way that they demonstrate the subtleties in the mathematical language. For example, many words that are commonly used in the English language have different meanings within a mathematical context. Think of words such as edge, times, big, maybe. We've talked about effective pedagogy, and you've read more in this week's readings. Now I'm going to ask you to view a video on Teachers TV and consider how what you see in the video fits with the literature. Once you have done this, contribute to this week's conversation on this week's discussion board.